Looks like we're live. So we'll go and feed and teach family. We already have Joanna. We already have Joanna in the chat, saying greetings from Saint Kitts, the beautiful island where many Jamaicans live. Shout out to you, Joanna. I always wanted to visit Saint Kitts. Hopefully, I can do that in the future. So today we are here. We're almost at 100k. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for subscribing and all of that. The subscribes, the shares, the views, the likes. I really appreciate it. Currently we are at 99,710. 99,710 subscribers. So we're trying to get that up to 100k today. But let's see how that goes. That's very ambitious. We need like 290 subscribers to get there. So let's see how that goes. So I'm just here to have a little chat, here to vibe with you a little bit, and see where that goes. Can talk about the journey. We can get into a little bit more details. I make videos on the regular, but there's not a lot of face-to-face interactions and things like that. So welcome to the live. Yep, almost at 100k. So we have well, that's in Japanese, so I don't really speak Japanese. But shout out to you. So what might happen today is we have some construction going on, and I live really close to the road, so there might be a bit of noise. This is Westmoreland. I live in Westmoreland, Jamaica. It's bike country, so we have bikes pass all the time, and there's a bit of construction and maybe a car or a truck. We have a construction company around the road, so it might be a bit noisy sometimes. And I have my dog Kiki right behind me, and she's very vocal. So we have that. What's that? Tiffy, saying congratulations, my friend. Philly's rooting for you. Shout out to you. Let me know if I got your name right. Polly wants a cracker is saying congratulations. Shout out to you, Polly. Oh, that's Kiki. Wow. Kind of weird because my dog is named Kiki. Very, very noisy. But shout out to you, Kiki. So we have Oscar A. Yo, Nick, hope you hit 100k today. You definitely deserve it. Your escovitch recipe in particular is a massive hit. It's a massive hit here with me and my missus here in London, England. Much love. Much love, big man. Shout out to you, Oscar. How is London, England at this time of the year? Oh, we have Bugs Ups. Up me G, big up from Ontario. So Bugs Ups is one of those earlier subscribers. Always commenting, always. Yeah, I see a comment. I might not respond to everyone, but I see the comments. So yeah, hope we hit that goal. It's like, let me refresh this page. So I guess we still need 200 and we still need 290. Well, 289 now. Jamaica Boy TV. Shout out to you. So for those of you who are not really familiar, I'm Nick. Born and grew in Westmoreland. So Westmoreland is as the name suggests, is like is a western parish in Jamaica. Um, Mostly rural. A lot of Westmoreland is like touristy area. So we have Negril. We share Negril with another parish, Hanover. So I worked in the hotel industry for about 13 years. That's where I really got my start in cooking. So I've been cooking for a little bit. One of the things here in Jamaica is they have resorts, and what resorts usually do is they have multiple restaurants with different cuisines. So that's one of the exciting things about working in a resort. You have a lot of different cuisines, and you can really learn a lot really quick. We have a variety of chefs. The restaurant I worked at had the resort I worked at had a couple restaurants. A restaurant for lunch, multiple restaurants for lunch, and then dinner will have like 5 restaurants. So there would be an Asian restaurant, Caribbean fusion, Italian, that kind of thing. So you move around and you get to learn and figure out things. You get to learn a variety of cuisines, a lot of different chefs. We have big events from time to time, anniversaries, Christmas Eve, New Year's. So there's a lot of variety. So if you're there and you really want to learn, you really pick up fast when you're working in a resort like I work. So that's been good. That's been my experience for like 13 years. Jamaican food is not really where it's not really what I primarily did, but Jamaican food is not what I primarily did or made. So Jamaican food is fairly new to me, believe it or not. But to get the videos done takes a fair bit of research, a good amount of research, good amount of planning, talking to people, getting to know them. A lot of the things I cooked on the channel I've only cooked for like it's the first time or first couple times, putting it through testing and researching and talking to people and getting it down. So that's really where Nick is coming from. But it's been a while ride. It's been a while ride so far. Let me get to a couple of these comments really quick. So some freedom fries and mail me some beef patties. Shout out to you, freedom fries. April Nugent, bless up from UK. Weather is gorgeous. Christmas cake turn up. Oh, did you try the Christmas cake, April? Shout out to you. Is that near Montego Bay? So Montego Bay is in St. James. That's St. James is a northern parish. Montego Bay is on the north coast. It's pretty close. It's really close. So St. James, Hanover, St. Elizabeth are the western parishes. So it's really close. Montego Bay is like 45 minutes drive from where I'm at. Currently I live just outside the capital of Westmoreland. That's south. So Sharon G says, congrats on your journey. I appreciate your videos, always straight to the point. I'm originally from Ochi, but now living in the US. Shout out to you, Sharon G. So that's one of the things with my videos. I want them to be everybody here to watch videos and you have like a lot of fluff and not getting to the point. So what I like to do is provide a lot of value up front, because that's what I like to see when I'm looking for a cooking video. I'm not so much interested in all of the fluff. I want to get to the point as quick as possible. Sometimes I'm watching a cooking video just to compare something, and I have to be waiting on a lot of extra fluff just to get to something, and I end up feeling disappointed, especially at the end and that kind of thing. So that's why my videos are really like that. But shout out to you, Sharon G. So we have the bloated chef. Congratulations, Rasta. Rasta Master. I'm a big fan of you and Jamaican cuisine. Shout out to you, the bloated chef. What is the most expensive meat to buy here in Jamaica? Um, well, that's a tough one. Oxtail is right up there. I think even though oxtail is right up there, we have stuff maybe like pork spare ribs cost me a fair amount, but then again, it depends because I used to get pork spare ribs if you can get that from the butcher. If you have a butcher nearby and you can get that, that's great. But um, getting it from a bigger store like maybe one of the bigger supermarkets, it might cost you a bit more. Sometimes it's probably imported, so that adds to the cost. So yeah, so stuff like pork spare ribs, tenderloin, that kind of thing. Um, it's I guess it's more expensive right across the board when it comes on to not just Jamaica, but right across. Like some of those meats are the cost is more expensive. A tenderloin is going to be a similar cost in the US as it is in Jamaica in terms of where it stands in the hierarchy. So a lot of similar costs, but everything is pretty much expensive these days. Currently, I'm being blamed for the price of turkey neck going up because turkey neck is more expensive than beef currently at my local meat shop. So I get a lot of blame for that. All right, where was I? So Martin Samuels Cohen says, "Well done, 100K is well deserved." Thank you very much. Well, that's Martin Samuda. Sorry. So Martin Samuda Cohen says, "Well done, 100K is well deserved." Thank you very much, Martin. Yeah, I never expected this. I'm not really crazy about having I wasn't really. So when I ended my first year on YouTube, I actually had 174 subscribers. So I was expecting to be in this for the long haul and actually working maybe for a few years before I hit even maybe 50K. My second year I ended the year at 20K subscribers, and that was incredible. That was surprising. So 100K is like 100K. Not what a lot of people don't know is 100K puts you in the less than 1%. Like you're up there in the less than 1%. So that actually is really crazy. So thank you very much, Martin. Okay, all right, Dorothy. We have Terry and Spence saying, "Yeah, 100K milestone." No, Terry and Spence is actually my sister. She's been supporting the channel from day one. Yeah, she's my sister, but still, she's been supporting. We talk a lot. She give me ideas. She bounce ideas off me and things like that. So shout out to her. So like in the first week of making this YouTube channel, I had 10 subscribers, and Terrence Spence was responsible for like 4 or 5 of them, maybe more. We have Kiki. "I'm so proud to be here and share this accomplishment with you. Hope you and chat have a great day." Oh, thanks, Kiki. It's really exciting to. I'm not sure if I'm nervous, but this is my first live behind the scenes to get everything up and running. But yeah, thank you very much, Kiki. This is all thanks to you guys. So great. We have David Ritchie. "Good on you, mate. Congratulations, Nick." Thanks, David. We have Evan saying, "Go, Nick." Mimi Cat 7. "As a Jamaican living in Canada, I'm so glad I found your channel. Congratulations and keep up the great work." Thanks, Mimi Cat. That's that's great. So how is Canada? Where are you from? Let me know let me know in the chat. "Hooked up some jerk tonight. 10 out of 10. That's great, Martin. So the thing with jerk is every time I cook it, it comes out different. Hold on, I'm getting an error. Okay, so my internet is really horrible, guys. So yeah, my internet is really horrible. So this stream might not be stable, but bear with me, despite the horrible internet. Where I'm from, I can't get that that super fast internet where I'm located currently. So you might see it a bit choppy. I'm not sure if the audio is good. I'm sure you'll let me know in the chat. But yeah, the internet is choppy, but it's still good to be here. Oh, Martin was talking about the jerk, the 10 out of 10 jerk. What I was saying is every time I make jerk chicken, make the recipe, it tastes a bit different. So that's one of the things with jerk chicken. You have a little bit of different taste each time, but it's really good. I spent a really long time working on that recipe. I cooked jerk for years at where I work. A lot of years where I used to work. I made a lot of jerk chicken, jerk pork, that kind of thing. So, and what used to happen is we used to get it, we used to have the commercial brands. Many different commercial brands will go through, and so I have a good understanding of like the quality and that kind of thing, like the quality, what to expect, like the differences between commercial brand and how they stack up against something homemade. Someone commented the other day that jerk really takes it's probably more expensive to make the jerk season. It's more expensive to make the jerk season than buy it, and the jerk season might even be more expensive than the meat. I think that boils down to quantity. What they didn't consider was that quantity was part of it. So sorry. So quantity, usually when you make jerk season, you make a big batch and use it multiple times. So it's actually not as expensive as the meat, but it's not actually as expensive as the meat. So it actually makes sense to make it at home yourself. But jerk season, you make a batch, you make a liter or whatever, and you use it multiple times, 4 or 5 times, you're good. Stores really well in the freezer, really well in the bottom of the fridge. Most commercial brands use a few ingredients so they don't capture the complexity of what jerk actually is. So yeah, make it yourself, store it in the freezer, store some in a fridge, use the one in a fridge, and rotate it, do your thing. Jerk is really good. We have Sid W saying, congrats, woot, Sid W. Your channel has grown as quick as it has because you're genuine and you get to the point. Shout out to you, Oscar. That's really important, getting to the point. So Oscar says, outside of Jamaican food, what's your favorite ethnic cuisine? So because of the channel, I've been cooking a lot of Jamaican food a lot. So when I started the channel, I was just thinking about cooking in general, cooking a variety of food. But what I find is a lot of people lean heavily to Jamaican cuisine. There are a lot of channels out there that don't approach it with a certain rigor that I could have, that I'm currently doing. A standardized recipe, actually understanding why you do what you do and how to change it up and switch it up and be a bit more flexible with it. So my early audience gravitated towards that, so I really provided that for a lot of you guys. So, well, to answer your question, I really like Asian cuisine. So I was making a lot of pho, a lot of pad thai, that kind of thing. I really like that. I really like the high heat cooking. I have some recipes planned for because we have a strong Chinese influence on our cuisine here. So I have some fried rice recipes planned for the future and that kind of thing. Jamaican fried rice because that's very different. Lau mein, chow mein, that kind of thing is really big in Jamaica. Chop suey, those are things that like the Chinese influence on Jamaica really affected. So I'm hoping to look into that. I really love Asian food, and Asia is a whole continent, but food from all over Asia is really good. I like food in general, but just off the top of my head, Asian cuisine is one I like playing around with, especially because there's a kind of entrance from Jamaican cuisine and what we are used to into Asian cuisine. So there's that. So Kiki is asking if I have a suggested brand or vendor of Jamaican spices that you can get online. I'm not entirely sure. I think Island Spices online. They're a local brand that I really like. What I love about them is that they use simple ingredients. Usually, you can look on the ingredient pack and pick out like their spices are really simple. So you have the baseline. It's not a it's you don't see a lot of names that you can't pronounce on the back. And I think that's good. Ultra processed food is not really great. It's important to actually know what's in a spice. So I really like Island Spice. I'm not sure if you can get them online. From time to time, I would see on Amazon where they're selling something or something like that, but I'm not sure if I can actually if they actually have a store or anything like that, because I mostly don't buy spices online. I buy local. I buy a lot of local stuff. And recently I've been getting into making my own spices, and that's been working out really great. But in terms of those stuff, I use Island Spice a lot. So Liz Fila is asking, Liz Fila is saying, I've never had manish water. What is it like? I've only heard of it. Yeah, manish water is one of those drinks. It's one of those soups in Jamaica. It's a bit gamey because it's goat meat. They usually want ram goat in it. You always have people saying it, rank like ram goat. So there's a bit of gaminess to manish water. So to counteract that, you'll have like the addition of rum. Rum really cuts through that gaminess, and it's actually really good. I was never a fan of it growing up. I think I got a lot of appreciation when I started making it. So manish water is usually made from like the goat head and goat belly. So that's it's the more gamier parts of the goat. So goat head and belly. So the intestines and that kind of thing. It's actually really good. It's a favorite. Prepared right, it's really good. So Paulette Mac, oh, really savory too, Liz. Like really savory, really delicious. Usually you have like green banana, and you leave the green banana skin on, like younger green banana. You'll include that. It's a lot of iron in there as well. So it's really healthy, really savory. Great appetizer. Manish water is a thinner soup, so it's usually thinner and watery. Really spicy. So it's worth a try. It wasn't my favorite growing up. I grew up around a lot of goats. I owned a couple, so it wasn't fun when they killed the goat and that kind of thing. So I'm kind of taken aback from that. So Paulette saying congrats Nick, I'm really happy for you. Thank you, Paulette. This is really ours. Big up Terry and God bless you. Shout out to you, Terry. Bugs Ups is saying 100k people is a lot. You will never meet that many people in your lifetime. You should be proud, bro. And I'm definitely am. So when I was starting out, I was saying if 100 people watch my videos, I would be, actually really grateful, because I cook for more than 100 people sometimes, but I don't meet a lot of them. Currently, I usually respond to every comment, but I'm at a point where I can't respond to everyone now. So sometimes I just read it and keep it pushing. Um, sorry. Responding to comments takes like maybe depending on my backlog, maybe it takes like an hour or more sometimes. So an hour or more to, just to clear out all of the backlog and that kind of thing. So I can't really do it as much as I used to. So I was thinking, like, cooking for 100 people that's a lot. So I try to stay humble, because that's a lot of people. Like 100K people actually subscribing, 100K people saying, yes, I like your content, and I'm going to click subscribe because I like what you're doing, I like what I see. That's a real impact. So I understand the weight of it. So shout out to you, Bugs. I'm going to rush through a couple of these. A lot more comments than I was expecting so early in the stream. We're currently at 99,717 subscribers. We got a little since the live started, so shout out to all the newcomers. Just checking to see where I'm at. Jennifer is saying much love, congrats. Shout out to you, Jennifer. And we have Debony Johnson almost there. That's my fiance right there. She's been supporting me behind the scenes, giving me ideas and things like that. So she's a major help. Shout out to you, Mrs. Feed and Teach. Don't be nervous. You'll be doing many more lives. Sharon G. Thank you very much, Sharon. That's what I plan to do. So when I reach 100K, I'll get a plaque. I'll have to apply for it and that kind of thing. But I'll get a silver play button and I'll do a live then, and we can, do an unboxing. I love cooking, but what I love a lot about food is that um, I love the culture behind the food, and what drives culture is actually people. So I like to meet people and talk to people. So that's that's part of it. And Debani is saying it comes out but better every time. So I guess that was in relation to the jerk chicken that we were talking about. Yeah, that's true. Because I went from using regular red stripe to using, the flavored red stripe light beers in my jerk. So a little something different every time. Beer really sends jerk chicken, over the edge. Adds a nice flavor to it. Mimi Cat saying, I was born in Kingston but live in British Columbia, Canada. Not too many Jamaican restaurants here, so I miss the food back home a lot. Looking forward to trying your recipes soon. Yeah, shout out to you, Mimi Cat. So a lot of my recipes, I try to keep them as authentic as possible, as easy as possible to replicate. So what I realize is that a lot of the things we do and a lot of the foods we cook, we have extra unnecessary steps, and a lot of us don't know why those steps are in there. We don't understand the details behind those steps. So what I try to do is, work around. If it's not necessary, it's not necessary. So we can drop a lot of things, and get to something that's easy to prepare, easier to prepare, easier to follow. So that's my guiding principle. If it's not necessary, then why have it there? And a lot of us because of tradition and that kind of thing, and I get it, we like to keep hold on to certain things, but a lot of it can be dropped and stuff like that. Make cooking more flexible. Cooking takes a lot of time. I cook almost every day. It's really time consuming. So if you can like cut through all the fluff and all the extraness and get to something delicious, that's what a lot of people want. So um yeah, I try to bear things like that in mind when I'm making recipes or developing recipes. Some guys say, "Bless up, brother. Love your recipes. Greetings from Germany." Shout out to some guy. Sharon G saying audio is perfect. Great. I was wondering about that because I don't have the headphones there. It's a bit of a delay, so it's kind of confusing to have that delay. So I don't have the headphones, but thanks for that, Sharon G. Debany is requesting a goat head and belly recipe. Pretty please, coming soon. Oh, and Miss Jamaica Royal agrees, so I guess I have to do that. And we have Kiki making a bit of nice. So Issa Mr. Technology, this is one of my earlier subscribers. Shout out to you, Mr. Technology. Get in, Nick. Feel like I've been here since the beginning, and you've been. Congrats, man. Great work and great content. Thank you very much, Mr. Issa Technology. You've been there from the beginning. Trust me. I know a lot of the subscribers. Some of you guys commented. I remember the names. I remember the profiles. Sometimes you might comment from really early and then you drop another comment and that kind of thing. That's totally cool. It's really good to have that interaction. Don't have to comment on every video, but it's really nice to see you guys pop up again. So we have Crowflane. Hey Nick, amazing. I actually caught a live stream across the time zone. Congrats on getting near 100k. Absolutely amazing and well earned. It's been constantly great watching your vids. So this guy has been, I think he's from Ireland. Correct me if I'm wrong. So he's been here for a while. He's a patron, trying the recipes, trying new things, always giving good feedback. So it's always exciting to get a comment from him. In the last comment, you asked if I bought a drone, and yes, I did. I got a drone, mini 4K DJI. So that really helps me see Jamaica in a different perspective. So that's really exciting. I really love flying that around. I really love going on. Like when I do road trips, I like to fly it around. And for the patrons, I'm just making a few drone video compilations of where I've been the last couple months. So that will go live as soon as I'm done with all this. So look out for that, patrons. And Patreon is free, so you can just drop by. You can drop by, show some support. It's no cost at all to you if you want to become a squaddy or a food boss or whatever. That's fine. It actually helps with road trip and getting new equipment and that kind of thing. But it's no extra cost to you. You can check out the content. I really need to give more content to those people giving extra support. But drop by and check it out. So we have Metal Fingers. Wagwan Bossy, thanks for the dope recipes and congrats on the 100k. 500k is next. Let's go, Metal Fingers. Let's go. That's a long name. So Peter Patter Duckin. Yeah, Peter Patter Duckin says love you. Love you too, Peter Patter Duckin. Let's see where we're at. Common sense flows. Common sense flow with the clapping emojis. Shout out to you. I appreciate the explanation of how to make ingredients work in Jamaican dishes. Miss Jamaica Royal, thanks for that. That's that. A lot of the problems that I solve for, that I think I solve for you guys, are problems that I have myself. And one of the things that I really found out, because the perception among Jamaicans is that our recipes are fairly limited. they're not as expansive as like maybe an Italian cuisine, but doing research, making recipes and that kind of thing, you realize that's very different. Like Jamaican have, and a lot of the food we make is we share that with the wider Caribbean. Some of the foods that we make, you can find parallels of that in the wider Caribbean, and we share a lot of that. But the thing is, there are a lot of Jamaican techniques that we develop over the years to handle food, ingredients, and that kind of thing that I really want to showcase, because there's so much. I myself had no idea of how deep the cuisine goes. Sorry, how deep the cuisine goes in terms of what there is to experience. I learn something new every day. So there's a crazy world out there. So one of my aims is to actually document all of that. So I'm really looking forward to doing that and learning that. Traveling around the island. A couple Jamaican dishes I only learned about since starting the channel. So there is actually that to talk about. So it's really exciting. So we have B. Lewis, bless up Nick, representing Brooklyn, New York. I recently subscribed and learned lots about the essentials of Jamaican cuisine, clear and concise methods, techniques. Looking forward to 200k. Shout out to you, B. Lewis. Yeah, big shout out to you. It's a Mr. Technology again. I feel like Jamaican Mexican food would be a crazy fusion. I have to agree right there. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking about maybe a jerk taco, something like that. And I get that Mexican food is very different from like Tex-Mex, which is Mexican food is not as well known as like Tex-Mex, where it's a bit more plain, a bit more palatable to like the Western sensibilities. Like Mexican food goes a bit deeper. There's a bit more. That's where you might find a cow tongue or something like that. So yeah, so that's really interesting. So I have my hands full with Jamaican cuisine, but I like to try stuff from time to time. I actually really like sushi. I had a jerk chicken sushi one time that was really good. But sushi is one of my things. So there's a lot of fusions out there that work really well. But yeah, Mexican and Jamaican for sure. So we have Jennifer saying, I'm not surprised you have culinary arts down to the science. From a retired chef now living in West Africa, I say keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Jennifer. So what's it like in West Africa? Which country do you live in? Because a lot of our food, like, were heavily influenced by West African cuisine. Like, we had the slaves come over and that kind of thing. So a lot of our food are heavy food and ingredients, okra, aki, that kind of thing, gungo peas, all of that is has its roots in the transatlantic slave trade. So that's always interesting for me to learn. Steph B saying, honestly, dude, you are the real deal. You understand Jamaican food. Thank you, Steph. Mia saying, congrats, love your videos. Shout out to you, Mia. Stace, I don't think you should do lives too often until the internet connection is better. I really wish I could hear you completely, cause I know you're talking good things. Oh, the audio is that bad. Hey, I'm really sorry about that. I'm working on the internet connection, but we're trying to get that. We're trying to get that started. Your videos are amazing nonetheless, so I will get more people to subscribe and I'll share your page more. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. Okay, so please contact Follow Restaurant London. They might fly in for a special Jamaican week or something. Please think of yourself as a lion. This channel is one of the best YouTube got to offer. Oh, thank you very much, Peter Potter. Ducking, you've been saying that for a while. I see your comments, so and I think I watch a couple of the videos on the follow channel. So yeah, I might look into that. So Anne Marie Thomas, congratulations, love your channel and watching your videos. Keep going, God bless you. Bless up to you, Anne Marie. Keep up the amazing work. Virgin, that's from Big Boy. Love the name of the channel. So actually my fiance helped me name that channel. Well, originally the channel was Cooking with Nick, and that name was kind of, a tentative thing. I was thinking about. I didn't have a name for it at the time. I just know that I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I had Cooking with Nick for the longest while. If you watch some of my earlier videos, when I was using a Samsung phone to record, really, really bad quality. um, sorry, you might see Cooking with Nick. So that was the channel initially. So on one of the videos where I had, she commented that so Vibes Cartel has a song, Beat and Teach. So, my fiance said this is not Beat and Teach, this is Feed and Teach. So yeah, so that's how the channel name came about. That stuck, that just felt right, so I took it and run with it, and I think the name is perfect. I don't think I could have come up with a better name myself. Shout out to you, Croy. Respect, bro. You're helping me connect to my identity after so many of my family passed when I was young and too naive to pick up on things I should have. And that's from Strange Gnosis. Shout out to you, Strange Gnosis. Yeah, I think a lot of and condolences to you as well. I think what happens is a lot of the things that we take for granted in the current moment are actually really valuable. So sometimes we need to document them and that kind of thing. Especially when it comes on to food, I did a video where I talk about food recipes that have been lost. I hear about recipes from time to time. You maybe have a a restaurant or somewhere that does a particular recipe, and it's held it's kept as a secret and kept really private. No one knows how to make it and that kind of thing. So what happens is when that person passes, all of that knowledge passes on with them. Most of the times it's not documented, even though they left a cultural impact by simply having that recipe or having that line of products. Bakeries is a big one. A lot of baked goods has been lost. So yeah, it's not just a you problem. A lot of the rest, I'm crazy about some recipes that I can't find online, and I can't find out anything about them. Like grotto bread is one. There's a grotto bread that I had growing up. It's like a flatbread, fairly thick, not a flatbread in like the Italian flatbread sense, but it was a flatter bread, kind of like hard dough, very unique taste that it's made now, but the taste and the texture and all of that is very different. So that's something I'm curious about. So a lot of things don't get passed down, and that's the disappointing part of not just Jamaican cuisine, but cuisine in general. Crowflane saying, you're too kind, the drone is fab. Yeah, great to see the lands. Yeah, Jamaica is really beautiful, and what I think a lot of Jamaicans don't experience Jamaica as much. So I've made it. I've made a resolution to actually go around and see the island a lot more. It's extremely beautiful. On road trips, I see so many places that you know um, it's surprising every time, and I don't think we should let foreigners come here and see more of the island than us, because there are so many great things. Um, so when I was working at the resort, what used to happen is a lot of foreigners who have been coming here repeatedly for multiple years can tell you a lot more about Jamaica than Jamaicans, because we're not as well traveled. And I get it. Sometimes you're here and you're caught up in the routine and getting things done. But we really should take a break and really explore and check out new places and that kind of thing. It's a lot of the places are not really expensive, so yeah, because cost is part of it. But a lot of places are not really expensive. They're free aside from the travel expenses, maybe gas, um, maybe renting a car or something like that. But yeah, Jamaica is exciting, and you don't see a lot of drone footage of a lot of places. So it's always great to get that there. Would you collab with anyone locally in the near future? Sure, I'm not opposed to that. If it's mutually beneficial and we can gain like some extra. I consider working with Donovan recently. That was a collab. Donovan was great. I get that you're talking about the YouTubers, but I don't have any reservations about anything like that. I would love to work with work with local people in the future. That's part of it. Big boy saying my drone work is fire. Yeah, drone is like, so the thing with a drone is it's essentially a camera that gives you um aerial shots. And one of the things about drone is that you have to think about it like that, like unique shots and things like that. So the same principles that you use with photography when you're shooting with a camera, it's like the same principles with a drone, but you get a bit more freedom and leeway, and the aerial shots are exciting. It's actually really easy to make drone shots. It's actually really easy to make drone shots work. So um, it's a lot easier to make drone shots work. So that's great. So Peter Patter Duck is saying, I miss my Jamaican friends in what's that, Sobe from the 1990s. Think Gart is dead. He was a music producer. Lived on Collins Avenue. His name was Fatman. Oh, we have Noreen Nicholson. Shout out to you, Noreen. So Noreen pretty much comments on all of my every single one of my videos. If she miss one, she go back and she watch it, and she comments and she she gives her perspective on how she does things. But yeah, she's one of those day one supporters. So shout out to you, Noreen. Huge congrats, Nick. I've learned so much from you. Much love and blessings continually. Bless up to you too, Noreen. It's always a pleasure getting a comment from you. So we have Silas Freeze. Jamaica fine dining could go really well, I feel. Yeah, I believe that too. But what happened is with a lot of the restaurants and a lot of the people who have the capital to actually invest in fine dining. What I realize, and I realized this early in my career, is that a lot of those people they like to create fusions, and that gives the perception that Jamaican cuisine cannot stand on its own. So we have a lot of fusion when it comes down to Jamaican fine dining. So we'll cut our cuisine with, we'll do a lot of French stuff, a lot of Italian stuff, a lot of fusions. But we have a lot of great fine dining cuisine. It's like it's on the creativity of the chef to sorry. It's on the creativity of the chef to actually, you know, get that cuisine in the fine dine setting. But I don't really see that a lot. That was one of the disappointing things. Jamaican cuisine is really exciting. It can stand on its own, but a lot of people like to create fusions, and I don't get that. Nothing is wrong with creating a fusion, but I would like to see a couple more Jamaican restaurants standing on their own, not not a fusion thing, but like a really truly authentic Jamaican cuisine. Um, Apparently those do well overseas as few, but I still don't see I still don't see a authentic Jamaican restaurant like that. But yeah, so I'm seeing here where a lot of people are saying the audio is fine, so guess that works. Greeting from Georgia, we'll share. Shout out to you, Pauline Edwards, another frequent commenter. Um, Anne Marie Thomas is saying she can hear me really clearly. So I guess the audio is doing really well. Max Mer, congrats Nick, love your videos. Shout out to you, Max. Janine Baker Marriott, sound is quite clear. Okay. Oh, I didn't know you're responding to all the comments. You're truly a wonderful human being. Thanks for existing. That's fine, Peter Potter. Well, we're here. I really wanted to meet a lot of you guys. We don't have the live settings, and I had a couple things, but I really want to answer a couple of you guys' questions and interact with you and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm here for it. So we're currently at 99,724 subscribers. So not a big change from we just started the live, but it's still really good. Everyone is everyone is let me get that. I really appreciate every one of you guys. We have a bike passing, that happens a lot sometimes, especially when I'm trying to do voiceovers. I have to wait until sometimes I have a whole bike, a whole motorcade passing, so that's kind of tough sometimes. Seaman, Feed and Teach, congratulations on 100K. I love your channel and recipes. Shout out to you, Seaman. Sound is good. Okay. Oh, Janine Baker is saying she remembers the grotto bread. That was one of my earlier videos. I really want to give that another go. What I'm working on currently is sourdough. I really love sourdough. So what I got over the Easter holiday was a lot of people requesting sourdough Easter bun. So I'm really interested in that. I want to check out that, but I'm trying to get an early start on that. Sourdough takes a bit of time, so I have some starter in my fridge right now, and I've tested a couple of. Sourdough is really good, really delicious. It's still underrated and a lot healthier. Sound is good. So we have Jam Girl Blakey saying, congrats on your accomplishments. Really like your channel. Thank you, Blakey. Thank you very much. Road trips in Jamaica are wonderful. I really have to agree with that, Janine. Road trips are always extra exciting. Stacey's saying, I've learned so many valuable things from you about our culture, and for that I am grateful. Yeah, shout out to you, Stace. And I think I learned a lot about the culture from you guys, because I have Jamaicans who come in. For example, pakasa. That's a recipe that I did recently. I only found out about it through comments and that kind of thing, and that sent me down a whole rabbit hole with researching and talking to people, finding out stuff. And it's a real. I had no idea how popular pakasa all-in-one was until checking out that recipe, until seeing that comment. So I learned a lot about the culture from you guys. So it's not a one-way street, it goes both ways, and that's one of the exciting things about having a YouTube channel. Everyone from a lot of people from all over the world that congregates, that enjoy the cuisine. And as I get comments from people from lot of African countries in Asia, Korea, all over the world, like North America, Canada. We have a lot of people from the States and Canada here. We have the Caribbean, a lot of the smaller islands, St. Kitts, that kind of thing, Barbados. So every time I drop a video, what I really like, or what I really enjoy is seeing comments that you guys talking about the culture, talking about how you do, how the parallels in other cultures and that kind of thing. That is really exciting for me. I actually enjoy that a lot. B. Lewis, also you document the cuisine so well. Great job on all the finer points. Seems like you don't miss. The time video is excellent. More content like that. Oh, I agree with you, B. Lewis. Content like that takes a bit of time though. Yeah, I want to do a lot more like that, but it takes a bit of time, especially when I'm, editing myself. So that's multiple jobs at once. But sure thing. I have to mix it up. Editing takes a lot of time, especially if you edit like how I do. Editing like me is not especially for Jamaican channels. It's not. Most people just they record, and most of what they do is cut. I have to script. I have to do it takes a lot of time. A lot goes on in the background, especially with a project as big as like the Time project. Yeah, there's a lot of gears spinning in the background, but I'll try to do more content like that. I actually like that kind of thing. Maybe I'm also planning in the future to do maybe some food tours, go to a couple locations locally, show off a bit more of the culture while showing off food, showing off a couple really good spots and that kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's a different ball game. You have a lot more control when you're inside shooting a recipe, although that's a lot of work as well. But you shoot in a recipe, you do a script, you do your research, you do your voiceover, editing, that kind of thing. You have a lot more control when I'm in a kitchen. But once you go outside and you're talking to people and that kind of thing, a lot happens. You're flying a drone, also a lot happens that you capture. So really going through all of that and trying to fit the story together, it takes a lot more time and a lot more attention, and sometimes you have to cut stuff that you don't really want to cut, but to fit the overall, to actually tell a cohesive story, sometimes you have to cut stuff. And yeah, it's very different, but it's something I enjoy. I want to do more of that. But content like that will have me editing for a couple days, a week, really trying to get it together and get the presentation right. So yeah, that's part of it, but it's really exciting. I want to do more on the road stuff. So yeah, especially this year, that was one of my goals for this year and moving forward. More on the road stuff, more exploring, more of the culture, more people, not just me in the kitchen talking about food. Uh, so Uptown 1G saying, "I know every Jamaican recipe should share with people, bro. Foreign restaurants are cook Jamaican food now." Yeah, I have to disagree with you there. Um, because that's kind of how things die, Uptown G. It dies when you cover it. It dies when it doesn't get any light. Um, you might be hiding it from foreign people, but you might be hiding it from, your people as well, and that's where things die. And if it dies, no one gets to enjoy it. No one gets to appreciate it. So I would have to disagree with you, but actually keeping something of your own, there's a sense of pride. So I get where you're coming from, but I like to share a lot of stuff. um the more people enjoy, nothing is wrong with that. So yeah, I'll have to respectfully disagree with you right there. And what I always hear is, there's a Jamaican restaurant on every continent, and yeah, that's because of our own merit. You get what I'm saying? So because the cuisine, the food is really that good, and people all over enjoy it. You know, that's why. But I would have to respectfully disagree with you right there. But and that's something that a lot of Jamaicans, I get comments from time to time that, I shouldn't share everything, should keep some stuff secret. We should protect this, and I have a very different perspective, because a lot of the things that I share are a lot of the recipes that I share is because I really couldn't find any resources. What it took was actually me getting out, traveling around, talking to people, finding finding how to, finding from people, talking to older people how they make stuff, the processes, why they do it, and the ingredients and the variations, and to actually document it. So that that's actually really difficult. It's fragmented. So doing videos like this, combine everything, and it documents the recipe, and it documents certain things that um actually a lot of Jamaicans, especially overseas, can enjoy and recreate on their own. So, I just have to respectfully disagree with you right there. So we have LC Scott. Congratulations, Nick, watching from England. You offer amazing value on your channel. I've learned so much since I subscribed 2 years ago. Feed and Teach is such an apt name. Shout out to you, LC Scott. Yeah, I have to agree with you right there. So yeah, so the channel has been around for like 3 years. So the first 2 years were the growth was impressive. Um, the growth was impressive for the last 2 years. So I really appreciate that. For the first year, it was mostly we have a couple day ones in that 174 subscribers. But the growth was not that much. My first video to pop off was really on soft buttery Jamaican cocoa bread. That was one of the first videos to actually blow up. That actually got me monetized. That got me, the watch time and the 1,000 hours. So that was exciting. So the first really two standout videos from the channel were cocoa bread and beef patty. And that's really, staple Jamaican food, staple lunch items. So yeah, so that was exciting. But yeah, shout out to you, LC Scott. Bilo is asking what's the idea behind the bent up spoon. Okay, so I was doing Jamaican toto. I always have this spoon that I use for coconut. I have a spoon that I use for to remove coconut, because a spoon is really good for getting out the flesh out of the coconuts. Not so much a knife. I remember actually stabbing myself with knives because a sharp knife, not the best thing. A spoon is really good. If your hand slip, you actually don't damage yourself. You actually don't damage yourself. So there's that. So I had this spoon that I was using for coconut, and it got bent in a video. So I decided to stick with it, keep it around. I used it for the rest of that video, and it's been turning up ever since. I did a video where I think it's my 60K Q&A. I went into a bit more detail about why I use a bent spoon and the philosophy behind of it. So you can check out that one. It's a really quick watch. So Antu is saying thanks. Shout out to you, Antu. Mahali at B Lewis, he has okay. So Mahali is talking about that video, but I was hoping there was a tie-in with one of my favorite movies, Matrix. The scene where a gifted We're gifted one mentally bent a spoon. Oh, I remember that scene. Yeah, I remember that scene. Stacy's saying sourdough Easter bun. I would have never thought to combine the two. That sounds nice. That sounds nice actually, because sourdough bread is amazing. I agree. So that's not my idea. I wish I had, made a note of the person who commented that first. If you're in the chat, just let me know. That's a really interesting idea, and the flavors of sour bread I think would really work with a Easter bun. A sourdough bread is really simple. It's essentially just flour and water. That's all it is, and it has a more complex taste than breads with a lot more ingredients. So I'm really looking forward to that. So Art29 is saying, great job, man. Big up, shout out to you, Art. Crowflane and the culture bit. I think food is so tied to culture in many places. It's so interesting to learn that too. The ITAL vid, for example. Yeah, I agree. Food is always tied to culture. Oh, what's that? Rose is showing. Is saying just got you 2 subs, bro. Big up. Oh, thank you very much, Rose. We're 2 subs closer to the milestone, so shout out to you. Thank you very much for that. Stacy is saying, you're yes, more locations, please. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to get more of that. There are so many great locations in Jamaica, so many exciting things to explore. So, and you can't really separate all of that from our food. So it ties into feed and teach just the same. So I really want to get into that. So that's also exciting for me. Um, what's that? Easty Man is saying, just made your jerk recipe last weekend. The stuff was straight buzzing. Yeah, yeah. I've been working on that recipe for a really long time and refining it. So, I do a lot of updated jerk recipes sometime because I've been constantly working on it. So yeah, that's really exciting. Skyvins, please give a shout out to my friend Stacy, born in Jamaica but lives in the UK and doesn't think that browning is a real thing in Jamaican cooking. Well, shout out to you, Stacy. Well, I grew up with browning. I grew up with my mother and my grandmother making browning. My father as well. It's a really big thing in Jamaican cooking. No, not so much. Because we just buy it from some local brands that make packaged browning. So with the commercial browning, it's just maybe caramel, a little bit of spices, some salt, that kind of thing to give meat that brown color. It doesn't have the complexity of homemade browning, but browning is really big in Jamaica. Like you can't walk into a supermarket and not find a bottle of browning, whether from Eve or Grace or you know, yeah. So browning is pretty big, but shout out to you, Stacy. Oh, she's in Jamaica right now. All right, hope she's enjoying it. It's kind of rainy right now, so not the best time for river. Maybe beach works. But yeah, we're getting a lot of rain right now. It's coming down to the hurricane season. Um, Beauty Stick is saying hi all. Shout out to you, Beauty Stick. Thanks for joining the live. Donette Fletcher, congratulations on your success. Since I subscribed not even a year ago, you have grown quickly. Wishing you continued success. Love your videos. Thank you very much, Donette. Yeah, it's surprising to me too. And it's really exciting. So I'm yeah, I'm really excited about that. Really excited about that. Thank you very much. It's all thanks to you guys, turning up, showing a lot of love and support. Sometimes I wish I could, release more videos. I could get my videos out quicker, but doing the editing myself, the research, all of that. So maybe I'll work something out to, still, because a lot of you, you like the content. I wish I could give you more Sometimes it's just like one a week, and there's a lot of challenges. Simply sourcing ingredients is one challenge, and then research and that kind of thing. So I really wish I could give more videos at the same quality or higher quality than I do now. But yeah. Shout out to you. So better living. Love your videos. You're definitely doing it from the heart. Yeah, shout out to you, better living. Yeah, that's one of the thing. There are a couple of videos that I didn't upload, I recorded and that kind of thing because I found that they were subpar quality, not really great. They didn't add much value, so and I really watched them and like, no, this is not going to work. And maybe it could have, but yeah, if I'm not feeling it personally, I skip past it. I maybe have one or two videos that I wish I hadn't uploaded, but that's part of it. That's the learning process, because I want every video to be, living at the edge of my abilities. What is what I like to say. Like, this video should be, I put everything in it to make it the you know provide the most value, to the viewers and that kind of thing. So that's something that I hold personally. But yeah, I try to do it from the heart at all times. Thank you very much. Beauty Stick is watching from London. Shout out to you. Stace, do you mean brown in the food? The Jamaican community in the UK is very large, just like in the Greater Toronto area where I live. I don't understand why she would think brownie is not a thing. Okay, I don't get that as well. Browning is really big overseas. Yeah. Um, so Rose is saying, where you located, bro? I mean, if you have a restaurant. No, I don't actually have a restaurant. YouTube take a crazy amount of time. So I don't have a restaurant. Maybe in the future I'll work towards that. Restaurants also take a lot of time. The running a restaurant is like, especially running a restaurant to a like a high standard, takes a lot of time and commitment and energy and that kind of thing. So hopefully in the future I can get to that point, if when I have the capital to get into that. And then I can have I had a comment that said, I should have a restaurant and name it. I really don't remember, but it was a pretty interesting concept. I would have to go back and look at that. So Deban is saying very rainy. The river is very dangerous at this time. Yeah, the river is, the current is really strong, so not the best idea at this time. Jackie Rosewell, your presentation makes cooking look so doable. Yeah. So the presentation is one thing, but a lot of my recipes I would be working on them for. I would be working on them for maybe like 1 or 2 tries, sometimes 3 tries. I have recipes that I worked on upward of 4 tries to really work out the kinks and make it as approachable as possible. So sometimes with a lot of the recipes I do a lot of testing that I don't really catch on camera. Some recipes take a lot of testing, so to get it to that point where it's replaced, where you can replicate it. So a lot of the videos that I do, that's like sometimes the third, fourth, or fifth try, and I work out the kinks and to get it to that point. Because one of the aims with doing videos is that it should appeal to the average person. It shouldn't be a crazy high skill ceiling to get to that point. And I see comments from time to time that say, they just tried the video they just tried a recipe for the first time after watching a video, and they execute it really well and it was good and that kind of thing. So Rose is saying, come on, guys, get your family to sub up. Yes, get your family to sub up. And if you're in the live and you haven't subbed already, just drop a subscribe. Get us to that 100K. That's an exciting milestone. Hopefully, we reach it today. I had this live schedule for yesterday, but I realized that it wasn't going to happen yesterday, so I extended the time to today. But yeah, this is exciting. Would be a shame to get off the live and then reach 100K. And there we go, one more subscriber. So shout out to you who just subscribed. So a couple of the projects that I will be working on, coming up in the next coming weeks to months are I want to do pepper shrimp. Pepper shrimp is really it's a requested recipe, highly requested recipe that I got. I want to do that. Pepper shrimp is actually pretty simple. I wanted to do it for a really long time now. We have middle quarters in St. Elizabeth that does a lot of pepper shrimp. That's where it's really popular. It's a nice tourist spot, a spot for locals that they stop and get pepper shrimp. So I've spoke to a lot of the vendors there, and they said pepper shrimp is really simple. It's a really simple thing. They gave me a couple of pointers that that I need to use and that kind of thing. So I might do two different pepper shrimp, the simple street food style and something that you will do at home that takes a bit more ingredients. But pepper shrimp is one of those things for a lot of people. I want to do a proper oxtail video. That's a bit more expensive. For making oxtail price skyrocket again. Curry goat video is highly requested. I have a much older one that needs an update, and it needs a bit of refinement, the recipe. And as we say, more road trips. I want to do a lot more road trips and food tours and that kind of thing. And in general, just explaining lesser known recipes and ingredients and getting into the weeds about that. That's really exciting. So it's more of the same plus a bit more. So yeah, really looking forward to upcoming recipes and stuff. So Rose is saying you're gonna make it, bro. Thank you very much, boss. We're still here, putting in the work, keeping true to the roots and that kind of thing. So yeah. Crowflane is saying if you reach 100K when offline, I'll unsubscribe until you get back on. Yeah, that's cool. I know you won't miss a video though, and you're on Patreon, so I'm not too worried about that. Congrats, dude, which I could sub twice, and that's from yard penalty, 15-yard penalty. Come on, respect, bro. Norma Henry, hello from New Jersey. I just subscribed. Thank you very much, Norma Henry. Yeah, thanks for joining the chat. Feel at home. Check out a couple of the old videos when we're done. There's a lot of value there. Some of my favorite videos are some of the least watched. So yeah, like sometimes the algorithm doesn't really push them because the initial audience that they send them to not really great. But check out some of my older videos. Some are really well put together and well done, and a lot of research went into them, even though they're not the most watched. But yeah, it's really exciting. Miguel 32 is saying congrats, bro. Thank you very much, Miguel. FS Icarus is saying big up, boss. Big up to you, Icarus. Thank you very much. That's a lie. Kohal is saying likewise. I just subscribed. was bribed that I wouldn't get samples. Okay, so I think I know Lai personally. So Lai is looking forward to samples of my when I do recipes and that kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure I got samples already, Lai. Rose, 61 to go, bro. I go bad up some people at work to come sub. Um, yeah, it's actually a lot more than 61 still, Rose. It's like, you know, 200 and 200 and 260, 261. But yeah, thanks, boss. Icarus, that jerk season and green season is really good. Have you ever thought about trying a ginger bug? Not sure. I'm not sure. You have to give me a little, you have to give me a little bit more details. Yes, sir. But yeah. Oh, speaking of ginger, what I'm interested in is what I'm interested in doing as well is, ginger beer is a big thing in Jamaica. I want to do one of those fizzy ginger beer recipes that, that's mostly my thing. I don't think I get a lot of requests for that one, but it's something I'm really interested in. That fizzy ginger beer, like, from scratch. So, oh, like trying to make. Oh yeah, ginger beer. Yeah. I guess we're on the same page, Icarus. But yeah, that's something I've been really interested in. And we have some good ginger in Jamaica. Like, the really, it's not as big, or it's not as big. It's a lot harder to peel, but the flavor is more potent, and I really want to try. I really want to try some of that too. Really, that's something I'm interested in personally. So I'm looking forward to that. So I have that on a list that I'm working on. I usually talk about the list in the comments. I have a long list of videos that are requested and that kind of thing. Not all of them are doable. Sometimes a lot of the ingredients are seasonal or hard to source. In Jamaica or where I am at, are so not all of them are doable. Um, Sometimes a lot of stuff might require special equipment, or so I have to work around that and sorry work around that and get the equipment or get certain utensils and that kind of thing. So, on its face it's really simple, but there are a few things that there are a few, because I have a long list of videos. Let's see here. What I want to do is talk about why KFC is so good. That's one of the things that I want to get into. KFC is actually a national dish, regardless of what anyone says. Like, we don't eat ackee and saltfish as much as we have KFC. So KFC is our national dish. I want to get into a bit about why it's so good. KFC in Jamaica is very different from around the world, especially in the States. Like you have Jamaicans actually bringing KFC overseas to enjoy. They buy KFC and fly up with it. So that's it's very different. KFC in Jamaica is more catered to the Jamaican sensibility. So it's really delicious. And that's our national dish. We have a lot of national stuff that I think we should change. Like our national flower, we always say is lignum vitae, but we have bougainvillea that's way more popular and way more recognizable. Things like that. So KFC, I want to do a whole video, diving deep into that. Maybe get into some natural blended juices. That's something I'm interested in. I have a porridge series that I want to get back into. A lot of porridge stuff, but Jamaican porridges are pretty much very similar. You can make a porridge from really anything, from a lot of things, and the process and procedure is very similar. So it's not a big I'm not too excited about that. They have peanut porridge, and it's just taking the one ingredient and modifying how you prepare it to fit porridge. It's a lot of the same procedure. So I started a porridge series and then realized that's pretty much what it is. Cornmeal porridge, rice porridge, all of that. It's, you have to cook the rice for a certain amount of time, and but I'm planning to get back into that, to do maybe some shorter videos for that. But it's that's I have a long list of videos that I want to get out, and yeah, those are some of them. Irish. I also have a juice series that maybe I want to get into a lot more than the porridge series. That we have stuff like peanut punch and Irish moss and a lot of our blended juices. So I want to get back into that. I still owe you guys a coconut oil video that's highly requested. Um, Even though I live in Jamaica, coconut is a headache to get, and even getting the coconut, like some of the varieties that I get, they don't have a lot of oil. So um, those are some of the challenges that I would have to talk about. Someone strongly requested teriyaki sauce, not Jamaican, but let me know, guys. You want to see a teriyaki sauce video? I made a lot of, Asian style sauces, Japanese style sauces, when I was working at the resort. So yeah. Noni juice. I want to get into some of those stuff. A lot of you guys like the healthy aspect of our cuisine. We have noni juice and we have like our local bush tea. So I have videos planned for that. Old time corn pone, update the pepper pot soup video. We have stuff like susumba that I want to get into. Box food is a big Jamaican thing. Box food for lunch. Maybe do a video on that. I have a lot of requests. Homemade sausages that might take some specialized equipment, but that's something that's been requested. We also have some non-Jamaican recipes like jollof rice that people request, that I'm personally really interested in myself, that I want to get into. Seasonal recipes like sorrel cake and that kind of thing that I have to get back into. And one of the things that I had on this list for the longest while was a Jamaican charcuterie board. Now we have a lot of charcuterie stuff, like corn pork, red herring, jerk sausage, bitter almonds, and a beautiful charcuterie board. That's something that I'm interested in. I'm not sure what the audience is like for that, but that's something that I want to explore and maybe do a video on. So yeah, a lot of ital recipes are there as well. Stuff like homemade snow cone, how to do that at home. Snow cone is a big thing in Jamaica. It's not exclusively a Jamaican thing, but it's a big Jamaican thing. So that's something I want to get into. So many recipes. I have a very, very long list, and then I have other videos and other stuff that I want to explore, like maybe Jamaican food myths. A lot of the things that we hold dear and true that are actually myths. I want to get into breaking down some of those, and there are so many things to do. And I want to do a hot pepper deep dive. We have a couple peppers that are essential in Jamaican cuisine that I want to explore and check out. So there's that. So I have a long list. There's a lot of content. The only bottleneck is how fast I can actually make them to a high quality or a good quality. So that's something that I want to. I have a lot that I want to get done. So there's that. So La is saying no, sir. So I guess she didn't get any of the samples, but yeah, we'll have to fix that lie. Rose is saying mistake 261. Yeah, that's cool, bro. It happens to me a lot too. I've made plans and stuff like that, and I had to cut them really quick because that number wasn't where I thought it was. So that's great. Um, where was I? So Icarus is saying seat there. Yes, man. I'll have to check that out, Icarus. Just drop a comment and follow to our old video. I know this is not cool, but it might help to get to 100k. Um, I guess that's fine. It's not a big deal. If they're interested, they're interested, and that's okay. So thank you very much, Peter Pata Ducking, for that. That's a mouthful. I started one Sunday gone. Okay, so just drop a comment and let me know how it goes. It's always a fun working with like fermented stuff and carbonating things. That's really fun, and it's always exciting when I see some result because stuff like that take a longer time. Miguel, the sky is the limit. Yes, it is, my boss. Gonna try to get some battles at Hassan's. Okay, so you're in Jamaica. Yeah, I know Hassan's. Hassan's isn't. I think Hassan's is. I think the Bashko brand is a part of Hassan's, and we have Bashko. We have a Bashko here in Sab, so we have a lot of that bottle with the flip top. So yeah, I have that on a list to get to try out like carbonated stuff and the ginger beer. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. I think they definitely have it. Yeah, I get it, man. We're here for the marathon. Yes, sir. That's the plan from that's the plan for the channel. It's for the long haul. Actually, a marathon, not a sprint. Debany been requesting fried dumpling stuff with curry chicken for years now. That's still on the list. That's still on the list. So I have a lot to tackle. KFC is the national dish. I have to agree with you there. Sounds really good. Yes, it does. Yes, and mango is the national fruit, not actually ackee. Nothing like a Julie mango or East Indian mango. Let me know your favorite mango in the chat. Me shout it out. The world according to me is asking, do Jamaicans really smoke big Bob Marley joints? Yeah, you find a couple Rasta that does that. You still find Rastas that do that and a couple people that do that, but hey. Seafood boil, please. Okay, so that's a recent development. I'm going to have to do one of those. It's actually crab season right now, so we have a lot of blue land crab currently. So even though they're a lot more expensive this year than other years, but we have a lot of blue land crab, and maybe I can actually get out there and catch a couple and have it on camera. Going to crab bush is a big Jamaican thing at this time of year, especially after a light drizzle or rain. So that's something that I wanted to do. I'm not sure how doable it is, but I'll have to check it out. As you can see, there's a long list of stuff that I want to go. I want to get through. What's that? Jewel Duke is saying already sub. One love from Belgium. Thanks to you, me start cook for pleasure again. Homemade jerk chicken is the real thing. Shout out to you, Duke. Yeah, that's true. Homemade jerk chicken is a banger. You let it marinate overnight and oh gosh, really good, really tender. And Icarus is saying it's tough. Yes, man, of course. Yeah, content is infinite, especially especially Jamaican. Well, in the niche that I am, because YouTube is a lot about niches. So yeah, there's so much to explore that's gone unexplored. It's not just what's out there that I want to do. It's also stuff, stories, recipes that are not exposed that I can get into as well. Quite adept. Congrats, my friend. Much love from Switzerland. I'm not from there, but I'm sending their love anyway. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, quite adept. I see a couple of recent comments from you. I haven't gotten to responded to them as yet, but shout out to you. Thank you very much. Yeah, take your time. We like the quality content. Yeah. That's quality will always be first, even though it might take a bit more time. So, yeah, quality is a priority. Um, actually having a recipe that you can replicate and that kind of thing. Those are stuff that I won't compromise on that to get videos out quick or get it done quick. That's a personal principle that I have, you know. So yeah, yeah. Aqua creates, bro. How do you find the time? I have been trying to up my channel again, but with the family, I have no time out there. Well, it's tough. So what I do is each night I actually use my calendar. I like to call it living out of my calendar. So I would plan the day ahead. It doesn't always work. Hardly ever works. I would plan how much time I would spend on editing and that kind of thing. Plan even the small stuff that plan when you take a shower, plan when you cook, and you'll always run overtime. But having a framework kind of helps you to stay on track a bit. So it's tough. It's You don't really want to get up out of bed and wing it. If you do that, especially like me, where you have to, especially like me where I manage my a lot of my time. I'm not locked into a particular schedule that someone else gives me. So um yeah, living out of your calendar works for that. So I just set some tasks on what time I want them to finish and how long they might take, and that kind of thing. So um yeah. So that's one way to do it. And you plan family time and you plan all of that. And even if you don't get as much out of the planning as you initially hope, there's still something, and you get some amount of results. And you do that consistently and try to stay as close to your schedule as possible. So that work. You plan your leisure activities, you plan your time, you plan. So it's tough, especially with editing and a lot of things that will take a lot more time than you expect. So that's just something to consider. So shout out to you, Aqua Creates. Um, Miss Bless Alkaline Mix. I use many of your recipes and they hit. Unsubscribe and subscribe again and watch him hit 100K quick. Shout out to you, Alkaline Mix. East Indian are the best still. Um, yeah, I don't try to get into arguments about mango and what people like. I like a lot of mango. Um, yeah, those are a lot of Jamaicans will consider East Indian to be the only mango that is mango. But people are really touchy about the type of mango that they like. So yeah, East Indian is really good. Julie is great too. Those are two mango. You don't have they're not really fibrous. You don't have a lot of stringy. You don't have a lot of things to pull out of your teeth. But it's great. It's great. I really like East Indian. I think I had one last night. I would like the saltfish and ackee video. And that's from Norma Henry. So yeah, I have a older video, but I want to redo that, get a bit more in depth and stuff like that. We're out of the ackee season currently, so that's what I was talking about with some of the stuff are seasonal, so it might be a bit difficult to get now. Um, you can get ackee all year round, but the season is it's much better to get it during like the season. Much easier, much better, and you save some money that way. So that's something I've been wanting to to do to do over for a good while now. So stay tuned for that, Norma. We'll work on that and get it and get it out there. So Live Laugh TV, first time here and I just sub. Thank you very much, Live Laugh TV. Welcome home. Check out a couple of the videos, chat with a couple of subscribers. It's a really good vibe, and that's one of the things that I'm really surprised about. Most of the comments have been very positive, and that's kind of unlike any YouTube channel that's unlike any YouTube channel that I've been watching or checking out. Usually have a lot of comments that are very negative, and so the comments are very positive. And you might think that I don't delete comments. I don't really delete comments even when they're a bit negative. If it's blatantly offensive to someone, or someone go a bit too far, I might delete a comment. I've only ever done that twice in like 3 years. But the comments are usually positive. I usually leave all the comments up, and they're overwhelmingly positive. So yeah, there's that. So that's something that's really surprising. You don't see that on social media a lot, even when people disagree with me. And I have a couple videos that people really go in and tell me that I can't cook, but that's fine. That's part of it. I usually poke fun of them and that kind of thing in other videos, but that's part of it. So, but yeah, the vibes is generally good with my videos. Not a lot of drama, and drama really sells on YouTube. People like drama. Like, a lot of you guys come for the food and the chill vibes. And if it was a bit more dramatic, I would maybe have a wider audience. But a lot of you guys just turn up for the food and the chill vibes and learning something, and I really appreciate that. I don't see that on a lot of channels don't have that entirely. So that's really good. That's something. So big thanks to you guys. So pita pata ducking sauce, fry break until crispy on the side. Butter, pressed ginger and garlic, real brown sugar, teriyaki sauce, some chili flakes, and most important, pineapple juice, little balsamic vinegar. Yeah, that sounds really really delicious. So FS Icarus is saying, is asking if I have a TikTok. Yes, I have a TikTok. I am on Instagram and Facebook. All of those are feed and teach. Just feed and teach. I'm not as active on TikTok or Instagram and Facebook. I haven't posted for a really long time on any of those platforms. That's something I need to get back into. It's been mostly YouTube, but it's kind of tough managing all platforms, and one of the bottlenecks is the quality of the content that I do. Editing videos to that quality take a bit of time. Like editing and color, it takes some amount of time. So short form content like benefits from being, you produce a lot of it and you get it out there and it's consumed quick and that kind of thing. But that's not exactly my style. That's probably a bottleneck for me. I really like the longer form content where I get more in depth and a little different vibe. So that's maybe one of my weak points as a content creator. But yeah, there's a TikTok. I have some really short videos that they do fairly well. Yeah. So yeah, Creates is saying is he really needs to up his content. Yeah, he can jump right back in. What really helps is having someone who does content creation as well, or maybe they're in your niche as well, and they can give you a couple pointers and you can learn from each other. So I've done a few collabs with, you know, maybe one or two collabs with other content creator. Not very big, but it's content creation for a lot of people will be a lonely road. Um, Content creation will be a lonely road for a lot of people because what you're getting into is not won't be something that everyone understands or are also doing. So there's that. Especially the more subscribers you get and the more you have to invest in it, it's a lonely road. You don't have a lot of peers. So there's that. So it's always good to link up with other content creators and you learn how them handle, they learn from you, you learn from them. So um just stick with it. So what kind of content do you do? Just let me know down in the chat. So Treehouse is saying, Nick, my son has learned so much from your content, but still calls me for certain advice. Thank you. Um, so much. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Your fan from Couples Nigga will keep rising. So I met Treehouse. So she and her husband actually cook. They have they have certain dietary requirements. So when I was at Couples Nigga, um they used to always come and check for me, and I would prepare something special for them. They can't have a few stuff, and they used to check for me, and it was always a great interaction. I used to have them every morning for breakfast when they were there. So that was great. I actually mentioned that I had a YouTube channel, and she's been subscribed since I had maybe like 40 subscribers. So shout out to you, Treehouse. It's always great to see. She's one of the day ones, so it's always great to see a comment from you every now and then. So Miss Bless Alkaline Mix is saying Blackie are the best. Yeah, I really like Blackie. So let me know if you have the skin and everything with it, because a lot of people just have it with the skin, all of that. Kelly J's kitchen, shout out to you. She's saying congratulations. Yes, great vibes. All right. Treehouse again. I'm telling my contacts to on WhatsApp to subscribe, share, like, and watch. Watch you for good recipes because you deserve this. Well, thank you very much, Treehouse. Thank you very much. Day one supporter, still supporting now. Yeah, let's see where we're at with subscribers. So we're at 99,749. So what's that? 251 more before we reach our milestone. I'm going to let the live go as long as you guys are interacting and talking. So let's see if we can get there today. Share the live. That would be appreciated. So just to let you guys know, I wasn't as excited about subscribers. I always had it in the back of my mind that produce quality content and the subscribers will come, but since I got so close to the milestone, I think it wouldn't be fair. That's kind of selfish to not share the moment with you guys, especially you've been supporting from day one. A lot of you in the chat have been supporting from day one. Wouldn't be fair to just turn up and not have and not make it an event. Could be a bigger event, but hey, let's chat and vibe and see how far we can get. As long as you guys are here interacting, I'll be here, and hopefully we can have a big celebration at the end if I reach that 100k. So here's that. So thank you very much again. So Leisha Ben, you share your love and wide knowledge for all things cooking in such an engaging, natural way. No twang at all, and the video quality is wow. God bless you and increase your territory, young man. Thank you very much, Leisha. I use a lot of twang, but I guess it's seamless because I use a fair amount of twang. Nothing is wrong with twang, but I'm really trying to get a lot of people to as much persons to understand me as possible. There's an accent, so I get that a lot of people who don't speak English or who don't speak English so well have issues with that. So I really love our language and our cuisine and the patois and that kind of thing. But a lot of you guys are not. A lot of my subscribers are not proficient in patois. So so yeah. So I try to keep it as as standard English as possible. But I really love twang. That's great. But thank you very much, Leisha Ben. Treehouse is saying people please like the live. Yeah, shout out to you, Treehouse. Give the live a like if you haven't done so already. That really helps YouTube to really push it a bit more. Yeah, because like is a metric that the algorithm looks at and like, oh, people are liking this. Let's see how many more people like this. Treehouse, people please like the live. Yeah, mentioned that already. So yeah, go ahead and like the live. What's that? Rainer Ansin, big ups from Germany. Shout out to you, Rainer. What's Germany like? Just drop a comment. We're from Germany. What's it like this time of year? So Melissa Goodwin, congratulations. Appreciate your work. Thank you very much, Melissa. Pita Pata Put. Well, that's Pita Pata Putzla. This channel is drama free. Yeah, I guess so. Personally, I'm one of those people who prefer longer form than shorts. Yeah, that's me as well. Yeah, I like the engagement and that kind of thing. I guess a lot of people do prefer that kind of stuff. This strategy with a lot of different social media platforms is that it's very different. The strategy is very different for a lot of social media platforms, and a lot of different content styles, and it's sometimes a bit difficult to manage all of those strategies, especially if you don't have a big team behind of you is handling editing and that kind of thing and shooting. When it's a one-man show or a one-man show with support, because I can't forget all the people who support me behind the scenes, because I get support from time to time. My brother helps me shoot sometime, my fiance. Sometimes I link up with my sister and they help out and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's not entirely a one-man show. Even though I do a bulk of the work, I still have to show some appreciation there. So yeah. So really what I'm getting at is that the strategies for shorts and longer form content can be very different. The editing style is different, and it's a different ball game. And I find myself leaning towards longer form content and sticking more towards YouTube and the audience that that we build together, and that because a lot of you guys share every video and you like and you encourage people to subscribe. So it's really a community effort. So yeah, I much prefer here that I built. TikTok is very different. Instagram is very different. It's kind of good practice to it's good practice to have a presence everywhere. But YouTube, I find myself leaning more to YouTube constantly, because this is actually where I get revenue from, and I get and the community is at, and this is where the bulk of what's happening is happening. So yeah. So Miguel is saying he went to Crabbush last month while he was in JA and got bit on his finger. Never again. Well, that's part of it, Miguel. What works is, give me a second. These actually work really well. These actually work really well for catching crab. Some heavy thick gloves. I got these for Crabbush, so I'm still interested in getting crabs, in catching crabs, going to Crabbush and catching a couple. So Yeah, next time grab a gloves. They help a bit. So they might pinch and stuff, but it doesn't break skin as much. So yeah, that's part of it. So Norma Henry, usually the first platform people will go to find a recipe is on YouTube. Yeah, that's right. And YouTube has a really accessible description box and that kind of thing. Usually there's a recipe there. Um so yeah. But like for extending it a bit, other platforms work as well. O'Neill Campbell, huge congrats, Mr. Feed and Teach. Well deserved. No easy feat to get to 100k, especially locally. Haven't tried any recipes yet, but them look really good. Shout out to you, O'Neill Campbell. And yes, it's not an easy feat. But I think one of the things is I did a lot of hard work up front, work out a lot of the king. But it's still surprising. It's still very surprising to have 100k subscribers, especially so early on. I know a lot of bigger channels, and I know a lot of channels, not just locally but overseas, that I've been checking out for a while, and this is a milestone that they haven't reached. So I'm humbled by this, and I really appreciate it, and it's really thanks to you guys. So yeah, it's not an easy feat. Because I know a lot of channels have been trying to, hit that milestone and hit even lower milestones. So I really appreciate it. So Ryan is saying, when I came back from Jamaica last time, I wanted to recoup everything I had. Well, we have the channel, Ryan, so you can give it a go. If there's anything that's missing, drop a comment. I might not get to it right away, but we can still get there. Sorry. So treehouse, I make my own spice, including curry powder. No onion, no onion, ginger, or MSG. Okay, yeah. So treehouse, I think you actually showed me your spice blend one of the times, I actually used it. So yeah. So there are a couple of allergies, but that's actually really exciting. I just got into making my own spice blend. So what I found with my spice blend is that usually works. I just throw a bunch of aromatics that I have. I'm not too fussy about the ratio and that kind of thing. I have some herbs outside, some fennel, a bit of dill, basil, parsley, onion, scallion, that kind of thing. No dry time though, because of course, dry time is a scam. So no dry time. But yeah, I find that you just grab a couple stuff together, you dehydrate them, you run them through your blender, and that's a really delicious season that you put on your meat. I haven't bought powdered season for a while because I have a little stash of homemade dried all-purpose season. I made a video about it, but it's really good. It's really good. Just whatever, whatever works. So Raina Hansen is saying your channel always gave me great results. Everybody loved it, and you are a very natural and nice guy. Well, thank you very much for that, Raina. Icarus is asking, would I do a TV show? I've never actually thought about it, but I'm not ruling it out. Um, yeah, that sounds like something that's up my alley. No, I never thought about it. Treehouse, coconut sugar is what we use for sugar replacement. Oh, I've never actually had coconut sugar. Stuff like that we usually get them in specialty shops here, and the prices are a bit more expensive than the regular stuff. So yeah, those won't. I don't think those will ever like catch on in a big way, because cane sugar will always be all that much more cheap, and the refined stuff will always be cheap. And a lot of people, when we're purchasing stuff, we don't always think about the health benefits. We think about the impact on our pocket. So and rightfully so. Like, yeah, a lot of the healthier stuff are more expensive, but yeah, that's a consideration as well. What's that? Zill? What may I say? Just this last week, 100K come. Congrats. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we have Vibes 39 TV. So this brother watch every single video. Um, Always commenting on video, comments on video like from years ago. So sometimes I get a random comment that he's watching a video recently. He watch a video and he usually he loves tea and bread, and most of my videos he will have it with some, say, I want to have that with some tea, or that would have taste good with some bread or something like that. So shout out to Vibes 39 TV. He has his own YouTube channel. Very positive brother. Always, encouraging and that kind of thing. So, he open a new tab. Check out his channel. Maybe you like it. Give him a sub or something. But very positive brother. Always here. Always checking out. I think he's from back Eastern Jamaica. I'm not sure, but let me know in the comment. Vibes 39 TV. Portland. I really love Portland. Portland is one of the parts that I really want to go to. But that's a overnight trip. The drive alone is a couple hours and that kind of thing. So to really enjoy Portland, I would have to I'd have to drive there and maybe do an overnight trip and that kind of thing. Oh, he's from St. Thomas. Bless, even and good health, my brother. Road to 200K next. Road to 200K next. Watching from St. Thomas. I didn't finish a comment, boss, but yeah, bless up to you. And St. Thomas is mostly east, so yeah. Norma Henry. Last night was the first time I saw your channel, and it was about the time video. Then I watched a few more early on, and then I saw you on live, and I had to subscribe because your content is fire, fire, fire. Shout out to you, Norma. Just share it with a friend or with a contacts or something. Let's get to the 100K. I'm really excited about that. Thank you very much. So Harris Sultan is saying congrats, Nick. Shout out to you. Good evening to all kings and queens in the chat. Enough blessings and good health to all. That's 539 TV again. Keep teaching and motivated people around the world. Yes, man. And of course, dry time is a scam. Survive 39 TV is requesting a curry chicken patty, and that's something I had on my list for a while. So I really want to get back into patty, get back into that patty series. So I have it on my list, so I'll get back into that and make a curry chicken patty. A couple people has been requesting oxtail patty for a while and that kind of thing. So we'll get back right there with our patty. Do a bit more and do a few different things, but yeah, those patty recipes are coming. Germany is just at the beginning of summer. Finally time to put away the winter clothes. Scotchy just started to bloom. How's it in JA? Well, yeah, that sounds good. Scotch is starting to bloom. Scotch bonnet peppers are great. Those are Scotch is our national pepper, if there's such a thing. But yeah, Jamaica right now is really rainy. It's coming. It's the summer coming down to the hurricane season. We have a lot of rainy weather at the moment. Yesterday there was kind of a freak storm and that kind of thing. For our already bad roads, the rain, and so yeah, it's really rainy now. So it goes from sunny mornings to rainy afternoons. So yeah. Alright, enough respect to you, to Vibes 39 TV. I see you get a subscriber. Reina drop a subscribe. So shout out to you. So we're currently at 99,756. Let me refresh this to see if there's a difference. All right. All right, so we're pretty close, a lot closer now than when we started the live. But shout out to everyone and thanks for joining. I appreciate the love and support. I learn a lot from you guys, and it's always exciting seeing a comment. It's surprisingly been all positive. I don't see a lot of the people saying that dry time is not a scam in the comments. So I was really expecting that. But yeah, dry time is a scam. And I skipped it on the all-purpose season video because it's a scam, and don't want to get scammed even when I'm making an all-purpose season. Just use fresh time with whatever you use it on. Oh, Vibes 39 TV is saying I'm the first person you see to use a spoon to get out the coconut out of the shell. But yeah, a spoon is blunt. I won't take credit for that one though. I don't I'm the first, but yeah, I can't take credit for that one. Maybe I'm the first you see, but it's a pretty common thing. But yeah. Yeah, we've been going for like what 2 hours, 2 hours now. So shout out to you guys. Thank you very much for turning up. I'm not sure if we're going to hit that 100K in this live, but let's chill. Let's have a vibe. Drop a share the live with a friend, share the channel with a friend or a contact or something. Let's get out there and get to the 100K. This is really exciting. It's a great moment to share with you guys. So I'm really looking forward. I hope something turns around and we hit that 100K. So yeah. Crowflane is saying I'm hoping to get my thyme seeds planted in good soil this weekend. Oh, hope that works out. So just wondering, you get bad winters in Ireland. How's the weather there, and how does that work out for planting crops? Because I guess thyme is mostly a cold hardy herb. I'm not sure how it works out in the cold of Ireland. So we just got a few more subs. Thank you very much to all the newcomers and the persons just subscribing. So Raina Unsin is asking, what kind of dishes would you recommend to try out in JA that got a bit lost over time? Yeah, I have a couple dishes on the channel. Let me just pull that up real quick. There are a couple dishes that, like, Pakasa is not really lost, but Pakasa is not really lost, but they're it's not a popular dish. A lot of Jamaicans don't know it. A lot of persons only heard of it after I did that video. So that's something we're trying. Um, what else is there? Because there's quite a few dishes. Some of them that I just document them and I don't. Stuff like asham. Asham is really good, but it's not as popular as it used to be. Um, not as popular as it used to be. I don't think I do a lot of those dishes that are getting lost. That's one of my goals to actually get in and get a bit more detail and do a bit more of that stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to see a couple of the things that are a bit lost. There are a few. Um, but just get involved in the just jump right in. Maybe start with the popular stuff and work your way to more obscure dishes. Like just jump right in. Jamaican cuisine is really good. Like the like one of the principles of the cuisine is depth and flavor. Like so most things usually end up tasting really, really good. Even when it's not about depth and flavor. Something like a escovitch sauce as flavorful as it is, it's really functional. So escovitch fish tastes really good done right, and because of the nature of the sauce, you can use it on like chicken. Like escovitch chicken is really good as well because the sauce serves a pretty big function in that it cuts the richness and complements the richness of protein. So you not only use it with fat, you actually can use it with you not only use it with fish, you can use it with fatty foods. You use it with other proteins, beef, chicken, that kind of thing. So that's something worth exploring. So just jump right in, start somewhere and work your way to somewhere. So yeah. So Curry is saying it's just wet. Minimum temps at maybe -3 at worst, but rare. Summer is up to 20 degrees Celsius, but it's almost always wet. I think the herbs should be okay though. Rosemary does well too, and I think thyme love that. If you can get thyme into like thyme really loves consistent water and well draining soil. That's one of the things that I noticed with thyme. Like most thyme plants, consistent water, well draining soil. As long as it's not sitting for extended period of time with its root in water, you'll get good results with time. I had really bad experiences with thyme for years trying to plant them, but once I figured that out, my thyme plants do really well. And looking back, it's kind of crazy that I can get great results now, and I used to always kill them in the past. So yeah. So Peter Potter. we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're back now. I'm pretty sure we're back now. So let me know if the audio is back. Okay. So you guys hearing me now? Perfect, perfect. Um, yeah. So what I was saying is that. Give me a second. So what I was saying is that one of my the Bluetooth mic died. I've been going for a while now, so that's something that I probably should have checked. So yeah, the Bluetooth mic died and that kind of thing. So yeah, glad to be back. And I was also saying I'm not sure where I was when the mic cut out because there's a bit of delay with the audio, latency issues. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I was talking about time. Probably I was talking about time. I'm usually always talking about time. Crowflane was saying it's just wet. Minimum temps maybe -3 at worst, but rare. Summer is up to 20 degrees, but it's almost always wet. I think herbs should be okay. Rosemary does well too. Okay. Wow, it's been a while since I've been okay, so Peter Potter Duckin was saying tell us please how you found the love for cooking and the most positive memory that you can remember. So what I was saying is that some of my most positive memories are with my with my brother. So he really has the skill. He has talent and I have skill. So someone is saying they still can't hear me. So let me know in the chat if you guys have audio. Because a couple people are saying okay. Okay, maybe there's a delay, a longer delay for some people, but I think the audio should be good now. All right, so where was I? So what I was saying is that my brother, some of my favorite memories are like cooking with my brother, going to the river and that kind of thing, cooking with my brother. So those are some of my most positive memories. He actually has a natural talent for cooking. He's naturally creative. I guess he has an intuitive sense when it comes on to food. Me, on the other hand, is like a skill that I have to work on consistently. A lot of you guys see stuff that might it looks creative, and that's really trial and error and going at it multiple times and that kind of thing. I don't think that I have that natural talent per se. It's not something that comes naturally to me. It's something that I analyze and think about and research and look into and test and try. So I guess I use a scientific method when it comes on to food a lot. And then when it's about stuff like that comes intuitively to my brother. So but I really love cooking with him. It's really nice to see. I have a couple videos where there was I had a chocolate video, Jamaican chocolate video, where he was a part of that. The river fish fry video, he was also a part of that. So a lot of the things that he intuitively, his perspective is always interesting when it comes on to food. When it comes on to me, I have to test stuff to make sure I like it or they're good, and test and retest. He one shots a lot of stuff, and it's impressive. So really and truly, like, my love for cooking was, I think I got a lot of that from my brother. And I also have an older sister, not hard because she's still alive. I have an older sister that, during food was a major thing for her. She got involved in cooking and stuff. So shout out to Nikki. I'm Nick, she's Nikki. She's also one of my early influence, and she was doing a bit with food, when I was younger, before I even know I wanted to get into food and that kind of thing. So it's yeah, it's been good. It's been good. So I have some really great memories from then. I have a lot of great memory. I have a lot of great memories. It's been a lot of years, but sorry, it's been a lot of years, but I can't pick a particular one. Maybe something has to jog my memory, but those moments with my brother, really exciting times. And we still link up from time to time, and we go river, and we do a bit of fishing and that kind of thing. So yeah. So shout out to Shamar. And another thing is that the love for cooking is like, I grew up around food. Maybe a little younger, I wasn't as interested in food as I am now. It was always exciting to when my mother was cooking and that kind of thing. That was always exciting. I don't think I was as interested then as I am now. So, but I lean on a lot of those memories from those time when I'm cooking now. Um, so yeah, that's part of it. So there's no one memory. Food was always there. Some things are like, it's surprising to me that a lot of people find it exciting or interesting because it's just the regular norm for me. So yeah, that's part of it. So the love for food was a slow process, and I think the love of the culture also was what influenced me to get into food, because most of my videos, it's not just food, it's also about culture, and that kind of thing. So culture, a bit of the island, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm kind of rambling now, so let's get into another comment. um So quite adept. It is 102 degrees Fahrenheit today, 39 Celsius, and I hate it, but my peppers in my garden are loving every single minute of sunshine. Yeah, peppers really do love, a lot of sun. So, well, at least there's something great for you. Great for you out of that arrangement. Justin James, congrats, bro. The party video got it all going, but you've been consistent and deserve every sub. So, thank you very much, Justin. And Justin is also looking forward to more dishes. I'm going to keep them coming, brother. Trust me. Jill is saying browning is a scam. Homemade browning is not a scam, but I can't help but agree with you that browning is a scam. Oh, Vibes 39 TV. My opinion about cooking: once you have the position time for cooking your meal, would definitely come out good, and also watch others cook. Yeah, so shout out to you, Vibes 39 TV. So that's one of the things, like, especially when it comes down to Jamaicans and how we teach others to cook. It's So I think one of the things that you will notice with a lot of Jamaican YouTubers, and this is not necessarily bashing them, I think it's more of a cultural thing where it's a show it's a show don't tell kind of situation. It's like it's like a lot of, especially like older people, they want to cook and you watch them and you learn that way, instead of them walking through the steps with you, because that's kind of how my grandmother taught me, or how my mother taught me. It was never really about, it was never so much about walking through the steps. Because one of the things that I remember a lot with my mother is that she telling me that she asking me, like, if me never show you, like, me never show you how to do this, or you never see me do this. So that's one of the big things in Jamaican, in like a part of the culture. It's a show don't tell kind of thing. So the expectation is that you will watch and you will learn, and that works for a lot of people, but that never really worked for me yet. So yeah, but that's a good point. The anti-social socialite podcast. Love your channel from London. Shout out to you. Perflane is saying thanks for the tips. No problem, brother. Congratulations on getting to 100k. We're not there yet, but yeah, we're not there yet, but we're trying to get there. But thank you anyways. I guess we'll get there eventually, but I just wanted to get there on stream with you guys. But yeah, thanks a lot. And I guess I'm at this section of the thing here where we lost audio. Alright. He's telling an amazing story none of us gonna ever hear. Well, I think I rehashed the story pretty well, so you're not missing anything. I'll make sure I change the mic before it goes dead. I definitely see an online recipe book in the near future. Yeah. I want to work on that, but I don't want to do a recipe book just as a cash grab. Just to I want it to be more meaningful, to have more more substance. I'm not sure what I'm trying to get at, but I want it to be more meaningful. I just don't want to have a list of recipes and that. I want to explore the culture a bit in the book. So there's a lot of context similar to how my videos are set up. That's something that I want to have in the recipe book. So I've thought about it. I've thought a lot about it and how I want to do it. So yeah. Yeah, that's true, Ryan. Like, technical difficulties is a hell of a thing. So Unky Dwayne is saying, found you a couple weeks ago, instant subscribe. Always wanted to recreate real jerk in the US, but you can't get pimento. I'm assuming that's pimento. Can't get pimento wood here. Yeah, I guess pimento wood is great, but jerk also works without it. The key thing is to actually get that smoky flavor. I don't think you get much of the pimento flavor from dried pimento wood. So if you can get green pimento wood, that that has a lot more of that pimento flavor. That's traditionally how jerk is done. So a lot of green pimento wood, and green pimento wood produces a fair amount of smoke, and that you get a lot of those volatile compounds out of the green pimento. It's really oily and that kind of thing, so that flavors jerk a bit more. So getting that authentic jerk is maybe easier in Jamaica, but a lot of people still don't do it. Green pimento wood is a hot. For example, a restaurant or something, getting that green pimento wood consistently is maybe not feasible. But for special events and that kind of thing, we get a bit of green pimento wood and use it. That's probably the best jerk ever. Alright. So I guess I'm loud and clear now. Raina Unsin is saying cooking with ganja. Yeah, that's a big thing in Jamaica. But I think one of the thing, like, edibles in Jamaica are really popular. Like we have ganja cake. I've never made ganja cake. Ganja tea is probably more popular. It's just simply steeping ganja and steeping the leaves and not the bud in hot water, sweetening with a bit of sugar, and that's it. Yeah, I've never had edibles or made edibles, but I think there are YouTube has guidelines on that. I'm not sure how strict they are when it comes on to they might call it glorification of. I see a lot of content creators get demonetized because they produce ganja and they say it's basically glorification of drugs and that kind of. So that's something I would have to look into. But I'm not opposed to it. Ganja is a big part of the culture, especially Rasta culture. All right. So Christopher Blake, yo brother, after watching that season video, I have made about 5 blends. I never thought about doing it before, but you're an inspiration. Respect and manners. Yeah, that after doing that, I actually one shot that video, Christopher. Like I one shot that video. I just that was one of the quickest video to get from. That was one of the quickest video to get from idea to filming because I had the idea and I was like, basically the next day I did the video. That was a really quick video. So I really grabbed whatever was in the fridge, grab whatever I had outside and just made the video with it. And it was really good. I made quite a bit of that all-purpose season blend. I gave a lot of it away. I kind of regret it. I have some amount of regrets because that was really good. I made some more after that. That's still really good. Because I used my oven, I think I burnt it a bit. Initially I thought it was, initially I thought it wasn't as good because it was kind of toasted, but I actually enjoy the toasted flavor now. It's been sitting for a while, so it's really the flavors are have really melded, so it's really good on everything now. So yeah, it's really good. I like to throw everything and dehydrate it in the oven, but you can also you can also dehydrate individual stuff and make a blend that way. But yeah, it's a lot of time. It's time consuming, and I use my electric oven. So yeah, that might be heavy on the light bill. So you know, yeah. So a lot of you guys are saying the audio is back. I'm kind of at that point in the chat. Um, how long have you been at this YouTube thing? It's been about 3 years. I uploaded my first video. Let me just want to be accurate right here. So I uploaded my first video 3 years ago. I think it was sometime in in January. January 3 years ago. So January 2023 I uploaded my first video. And that was, Jamaican red pea soup. So I've been at it for 3 years. For the first two years I had a full-time job, so I was I didn't have the full attention to give to YouTube. So I had periods where I wouldn't post for like maybe one video a month or post less than that, but yeah, it's been 3 years. Mm. Semantic satiation is saying, what do you think would be the simplest authentic tasting Jamaican dish you could cook in Europe, for example? That's kind of a tough one. I don't really think, because the thing is, I'm not sure where how the availability of I'm not sure how the availability of ingredients is in, which particular part of Europe you are. Um, Doing an escovitch is pretty easy. All it is, vinegar and onions, carrots, and maybe pimento. But pimento is pretty widespread because it's a dry spice, keeps pretty well. So you might be able to get that. There's a lot of dishes. Just well, check out the channel. There's a lot of dishes that you can really easily replicate. Think I'm seeing an argument about the ganja thing. Well, it's not a big deal, guys. Um, Ganja is a big part of the is ganja is a big part of the culture and the cuisine and that kind of thing. So it's mostly just about staying on the right side of YouTube, because there are guidelines and things like that. So yeah, as that's a deep part of the culture, that there's a lot to experience there. Um, there's a lot of educational value there. So you know, uh, let's not write it off though. Congrats, Nick. You're one of YouTube's finest, and that's from Mongoose 69. Shout out to you, Mongoose. It's been a while since I've seen one of you guys, but shout out to you. Jill is saying Nick's the boss. Yes, man. You deserve every success. Thank you very much, boss. No offense to many other Jamaican food artists I watch, but Nick's timing was perfect, refreshing. All right, thanks for that. Uh, can I be your apprentice? Well, I wouldn't call it apprentice. That's from L Lime. I provide a lot of value in my videos. They're really actually well thought out, as short as a lot of them are. So so just watch a couple of the videos. Drop a comment. I have my email up. If there's something extra, you can just drop an email and that kind of thing. So I'm open to that. And I might not get back to you right away, but I usually respond to all the emails in a timely way. So that's fine. So shout out to you, L Lime. All right. Mm. Have you ever done Jackass Con? And that's from Mango 69. So that's actually one of my planned videos. I've never actually done it. It's not something I grew up with. Kind of like that's mostly my parents' generation, and maybe the generation before me. Jackass Khan is a big part of their culture. So Jackass Khan is very I have a lot of Americans here. So Jackass Khan is very similar to like hardtack. It's like a dehydrated cracker, really tough, really hard. They still sell them in supermarkets, but they're not as hard as they traditionally were. So yeah, but there I have that plan. I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to it though, because there's so much to get through and that kind of thing. But I'm really interested in Jackass Khan, and there are other stuff like I think it's police button and things like that. So I'm going to get to those eventually. Congrats, Nick. Your station is the best. Where can I get green pimento wood in the USA? Billy, that's from Billy S. And I'm not sure, sir. I'm really not sure. I'm not based in the USA, so ganja tea. All right, Billy. Okay, so Ryan is saying he tried it. It's practically impossible to get pimento wood anywhere in the US because of strong regulations. I've seen that comment before that mentioned that pimento wood is strongly regulated. I'm not sure. Maybe do a deep dive, because the premise of that comment was because pimento wood is short in Jamaica, there's strong regulation. But it's not actually short. Pimento grows wild a lot of places here, and it's it's a fast growing tree. They live really long, but they're fast growing. So I'm not sure how that is. There's not. I don't think there's a shortage of pimento in Jamaica, but I'm not sure how the regulations are when it comes when it when it's about exporting it and that kind of thing. So yeah. So Peter Patter Ducking is saying, when I was 9 years old, and my mother died, I got into cooking. Since my dad can't cook at all, to me it all got naturally. To me it all got naturally. Sorry, didn't want to bring sadness in that question. I'm hugging you. Well, shout out for you. Shout out to you, Peter Patter Ducking. Sharing a memory is fine. That's cool. And condolences to you. Billy S is saying that green pimento is a secret to authentic jerk. Yeah, it actually is. The jerk season that I do, the jerk marinade that I do on the channel, the jerk marinade that I do on the channel is, I guess technically it is not authentic jerk. So jerk came out of actually like the Maroons who were like escaped slaves in Jamaica. So they really, developed jerk. It was used for they played a big influence in it. So it was like spit roasting and that kind of thing, digging a hole, and there's a whole other aspect that I want to get into and explore. But the jerk today, even though I might have authentic on my videos, it's not exactly authentic. So jerk today includes stuff like soy sauce. Some recipes might even have ketchup in the jerk marinade and that kind of thing. Those stuff came much later. So initially jerk was like chopped aromatics, and the pimento wood is what really gave it its flavor. So stuff like soy sauce came after the Chinese came to Jamaica, and that was a big influence on the culture. But jerk was more of you would have stuff in banana leaf, and you'll roast it with green pimento wood, and it would be covered, and a lot of stuff like wild boar and things like that were jerk. That's a more authentic jerk, but it's not exactly practical, especially to do like in a home setting. And jerk kind of evolve a little bit over time. So authentic jerk is a lot more related to related to that initial pimento wood, because pimento trees are always on the island. I think they're endemic to Jamaica. They've always been here, regardless of what group of people are here. So you know they really grew with jerk. So jerk is more of pimento wood, some chopped aromatics to make a rub, and it was either done like jerk was either done like digging up a hole and actually covering it with pimento wood and let it smoke and cook for hours, and that kind of thing, or cooking it above ground with pimento wood. That's something I want to explore more and get a bit more detail on. The jerk we use today is really popular, but it's what should I say now? It's more of a evolved form of the jerk that we use, the initial authentic jerk, for lack of better phrasing. But yeah, jerk is really exciting. Today's jerk is great. Back then I guess we didn't have beer and that kind of thing, but But yeah, it's all good stuff. So I really want to maybe do a video exploring all of that. Ryan is saying I'm sure I will get scarn now. I saw crushed pimento berries in water and use this to infuse a different kind of wood. Not the same, but closer than before. That's not that's cool. That's the thing about cooking. You find ways to solve certain problem because your idea was actually getting to the pimento flavor from the wood. And so I'm not knocking it. I'm all for experimenting and finding new ways and new ways to figure out problem. That's actually a creative solution. Do you actually have a pot roast or stew beef video? I don't have any pot roast or stew beef videos yet. Those are something that's actually something that's really requested, and that's from Billy S. He's asking. In 3 years, most people don't even get close to 100K. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you very much. And I appreciated that. I expected to be at 1,000 subscribers after 3 years, especially based on the first year. How that was going, how the first year was going, because as I mentioned earlier in the yeah, those are the bike I was talking about. But as I mentioned earlier in the chat, as I mentioned earlier in the live, like the first year I ended, with 174 subscribers. So I was thinking about maybe 3 years I maybe reach 1,000 subscribers, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, so this is impressive, honestly impressive. Ryan is saying the development of Jamaican food is very interesting. Maybe you could make a video out of it. Um, Development of Jamaican food. Well, that's multiple videos because Jamaican food is very dynamic and there's a lot of history, and it's a lot easier to. But I think I get where you're coming from. I think I get where you're coming from. And yeah, that's something to look into. I could make a video from that perspective. So yeah. Mm. And two, there's a girl, she was on YouTube and is pushing out great content for 15 years. Yesterday she reached 100K. Just saying. Yeah, and I get that totally. So I am forever grateful for reaching this far, this quick. I know a lot of people like, so yeah, the sub count just updated. I know a lot of people who have been on YouTube for years and they don't have this many subscribers. So that's really impressive, and I'm humbled every time because I was expecting to maybe like at 3 years I'll be between maybe 1,000 and 10,000 subscribers. But yeah, that's really interesting. So thank you very much, guys. All of you make it possible, and a lot of my videos are, I made them because of requests from you guys. There's actually an I realize that there's actually a need for my kind of content, and you've been to shape the content and to shape how I do videos, and you tell me what you like and what you want to get into. So it's a big group effort, it's a big community effort. So I really appreciate it. And as I said earlier in the live, like I am at like maybe in the less than 1% in terms of YouTubers, and the YouTubers that actually reach 100K subscribers. So it's impressive and humbling. So thank you very much. So Opa is saying I have to leave to go sleep. Just want to say thank you so much for your work. Your videos are so wonderful and relaxing to follow while I write them in my mom's precious recipe book. Appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too, Opa. So thank you very much. Hope you rest up really well. The live will always be here. I'll leave it up after I'm done. So thank you very much and shout out to you. Chantel, I love the way you cook and explain each ingredient. Makes things easier to understand and gives new perspective. Big up yourself. Great job. Thank you very much, Chantel. Thank you for checking out the videos and thank you for subscribing. Ryan is asking, do you get requests for paid product placement? No, well, not really. I have gotten a couple requests, and the thing with YouTube is once you reach a certain subscriber count, you get a lot of emails, many of which are scam emails that you have to comb through and look at and make sure that they're legitimate. And a lot of the requests that I get will be scams. A lot of those requests will be scams, and then I've gotten requests before that the what I'm trying to do does not necessarily align with what the sponsor wants or what they want out of the request. So I have to decline some of those. So far I haven't done a paid promotion in my videos as yet, because I want to maintain that should I say I want to maintain the authentic, genuine vibe. If I'm giving you something, I want it to be because a lot of those things sound scammy, and I don't want to encourage a scam. You know how much I hate dry time, so I don't want to encourage a scam and give you something that maybe that's not in your best interest. So when I get requests, I really go in and I really pick apart it, and I really try to see how it's beneficial to my audience and that kind of thing, and if it even makes sense. And usually they are not. Maybe to get something legitimate, I would have to be much bigger, maybe a bit more well known in terms of like maybe some local sponsors and that kind of thing that are really pushing their food brands and stuff like that. So yeah, there's that. So nothing yet. The short answer. Billy S is saying the difference with your videos is you educate the viewers and your recipes and steps are always on point. Very professional. You will be at 1 million subscribers before you know it. I don't doubt that because I wasn't expecting to be at close to 100k subscribers. So who knows? As someone mentioned before, the sky is the limit. So yeah, I'm humbled and I'm taking it in strides. Better living. You need to talk about companies so they can sponsor you. For example, use Grace Products, call the name, and not just talk about the product, how it's used. I get what you're saying, better living, but the thing is, I'm trying to build an audience. I'm trying to build and relate to my audience first, and they are priority, and I will provide the value to them first, because you're the guys who make it possible. Yes, sponsorships are great, and that would really help. But in the world of AI where almost everything is fake, I really want to maintain a real connection and real thing. I get what you're saying, and that might work, and I'll alienate a lot of my audience, but I want a sponsorship to be genuine. And when it happens, I want it to be, I want to provide some value in that interaction. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. But yeah, I'll always review stuff honestly. So that's something I'm trying to maintain. So Zebas, hey, I just dropped by to say your videos really made me discover Jamaican cuisine. I really appreciate all the history and facts you teach about the ingredients and recipes. Yeah, thank you, Zebas. Hope you try a couple of those recipes. They're really good. And Crowflane is saying thank you for not subjecting us to scammy product placement. Yeah, yeah. Um I guess the thing with that is longevity doesn't come from, um if my YouTube career ends tomorrow, and I would be happy. I didn't push something scammy, or I didn't, I'll be good. I'll be happy with just that. If I get sponsorships and it lines up and it aligns with our values and that kind of thing, fine, no problem. You can always keep the odds, but I want to recommend products that I actually like and I actually see. Not like, but there's some value in it for my viewers. So, because I'm all about the value proposition and providing value, so that's that's actually it. For the rest, yeah. So Ryan is saying the following recipe is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Wow. So Raid for a number of years is a big is a big sponsor. So Raid Shadow Legends is like sponsors a lot of YouTubers. Yeah, it's a meme at this point. But yeah, guys, we're at 99,765 subscribers. We're a lot closer there than when we just started the live, and big thanks to you guys turning up, chilling with me, having a chat. Yeah, I'm willing to answer any and all questions, so drop your questions down in the chat. I hope any of you don't find the music online. I spend quite a bit of time finding something that works and something that's a bit chill. So yeah, because for a lot of people that watch YouTube videos, music is a big thing for them. Like, the music has to be at the right volume, and not just that, the music has to be a particular tempo and that kind of thing. So that's a consideration. So hopefully that works. Oh, Zebas is saying they tried the fish cake recipe but didn't put in enough mayo, and they decomposed in the aisle. Didn't have time to test them, but they still tasted great. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So yeah, maybe the next time I give it a shot, you can just maybe use a bit more mayo, a bit more breadcrumbs. That's kind of how. Yeah, it's getting to that time of day where the bikes are really out. And then we have construction going on. Back earlier in the live, I mentioned that we have some construction right next door, so there might be a lot of noise, but yeah, it's getting really nice, so yeah. So Dan, what's that? Dan Genio sub last week. Love Jamaican food for a long time and really appreciate the dedication to the craft and your teaching ability. Thank you very much, Dan. So before I did YouTube, like, to the extent I was doing it now, I used to be a I used to be a kitchen team leader where I used to work. I did that for like 2 years. So one of the things was actually training. A big part of my job was not so much cooking, but actually training like new recruits, new trainees on how to, and maybe not just new people, but old people with certain things. Teaching them processes and procedures, teaching them recipes, and yeah, that was a big part of my job. Um, that was a big part of my job for a long time. So, and I had to get efficient at it if I wanted to be, if I wanted to be, if I wanted to be good at my job, getting efficient at teaching and really getting people to understand concepts behind what we do, why we do, and that kind of thing. So yeah, that was a big part of my job for like 2 years. So I think that had some influence on me. Not just that, but you know, actually actually teaching things to people in a similar way to how I would learn it. Um, because I like to see the breakdown, and I like to see the breakdown, and I like to actually know the process and what's happening, and that kind of thing. So I always try to bear that in mind whenever developing a recipe or a video or whatever. So yeah, that's part of it. Big shout out to all the new subscribers. Oh, we've been going for like 3 hours now. But yeah, this is really exciting. So guys, I'm going to take a 15-minute snack break, and I'll be right back. So hey squad, I'm back. So we've been going for like over 3 hours now. So we haven't reached our goal. Pretty close though. Pretty close. Thanks to everyone who subscribed, all the new viewers all our new viewers, all our new subscribers. Got me really close to the goal. I really wanted to get to 100k views on sorry, 100k subscribers on live, to celebrate with you guys. But guess I'm going to have to, call it a day. It's been like 3 hours, and yeah, really exciting. Maybe I'll reach 100,000 subscribers off the live, but yeah. But what I will do though, I'll make sure that we get to do another live. We'll do another live once we hit 100k, and maybe I get the silver plate, and I'll do an unboxing once we get the play button and that kind of thing. But yeah, this has been really exciting. It's the first I've really actually spoken to you guys like this. Shelly's in the chat. Shelly J.A.'s Bigland Lifestyle is saying congrats, feed and teach. Thank you very much, Shelly, and thank you very much, Billy S. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next live. This was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed myself. I hope you guys did too. Shout out to everyone who shared and subscribed and that kind of thing. And I'll see you in the next live. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Everyone who is going to sleep, hope you have some good sleep. And yeah, it was really good chatting. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll hit the milestone by tomorrow. Kind of disappointed I didn't do it today, but I'm a YouTuber who's hitting 100k. Like there's nothing to be upset about. But and it was all positive. So thank you very much, guys. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bless up.